Look at this dust. I must remove every speck. This
Well, we're sorry about losing the programme. We will return to Babushka just as soon as we can.
What are you talking about?
Well, we're sorry about this break in the film, especially at this critical point. We're doing our very best to rectify the fault, and we'll be rejoining the action just as soon as possible.
Later.
Once again, our apologies for the break in the film. We have now transferred the film to another projector. This will take 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll rejoin the action just where we left it off. Meanwhile, we'll continue this music, but we will be back with the Time Travellers just as soon as possible, probably in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Eventually.
You have the answer to XP right there. They'll know what to do with it back home.
Now it's story time. Well, sorry about that, but we seem to be having a few problems with story time. We're sorting out the problems, so we're doing all we can to solve the problem.
Later.
Once again, we're having problems with our programme story time, but in the meantime, while we're sorting them out, here's some music.
Eventually.
Apologies once again, but now we can go to story time.
Now on BBC2, Bill and Bernie put 3 on the number line. Well, I'm sorry about this, but we're having a bit of problem with the programmes at the moment. But don't worry, we'll sort it out as soon as we can and get the programmes back to you just as soon as possible.
Eventually.
Well, I'm glad to say we can now go back to the programme. It's number time.
I'm racing down the number line.
Sketches, songs,
And non play boots. It's all here just for you.
so count on number time.
Hello and good morning. It's Tuesday on BBC2 and we start the day with CBBC.
Eventually.
Hello, good morning. You're watching CBBC2 with Sophie and Mohini. As the toast says, it's Tuesday.
It sure is, and we've got lots on the way, including Jacob's at 6:25 and Piggly is taking a test.
Oh, forget Eurovision, it's Monster Vision at 6:50 this morning in Monster TV.
And that is followed by the Lampies, and someone is trying to be a hero.
But you know what, Mo, you should have brought a coat this morning, because winter is here in the animals of Farthing Wood.
Feel it. Come on.
And half of that, Dave, dollop into there.
Okay.
And you're about to start doing stand-up again, aren't you?
Yeah, I started doing it again in a little bit. I started doing a tour in the autumn. Is that about...
That's
you're right. How's that?
But you're going on your bike?
Yeah, I'm doing 30 nights, 1,500 miles cycling around Britain.
Well, I'm really sorry about this. Clearly having some problems with something for the weekend at the moment. Let us sort that out, and hopefully we'll return to the programme in just a few seconds. In the meantime, here's some music.
Later.
Well, unfortunately, we're having some technical difficulties at the moment here on BBC2. We're doing all we can to correct the fault, and hopefully we'll get back to something for the weekend very soon. Please stay there.
Later.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened to something for the weekend, you haven't missed it. We've got a technical glitch at the moment here on BBC2, preventing us from showing that to you at the moment. Hopefully, we'll have some good news from our engineers very soon. Stay there.
Later.
Once again, really sorry, but we're having some technical problems here on BBC2. We're still hoping to have it fixed for you very, very soon. We shall be returning to something for the weekend in the next few moments.
Later.
Well, sorry about this, but as you can see, we're currently suffering from a technical problem here on BBC2. Our engineers are working on it now, and we're hoping to rejoin something for the weekend in the next few moments.
Later.
Once again, really sorry, but our technical problems continue for the moment here on BBC2. Nothing to do with the clocks going forward. I'm pleased to say we should hopefully get back to something for the weekend in just a few seconds' time. Please stay with us.
Later.
Well, it's one of those rare moments when technical problems mean we're unable to show you something for the weekend at the moment. I know it's a pain. We are doing everything we can to get back to the programme. In the meantime, put the kettle on, and hopefully we're back in just a few minutes' time. Good morning, this is BBC2. We are sorry for the break in something for the weekend. We are doing our best to correct the fault, and fingers crossed we will be getting back to the team very, very soon.
Eventually.
Again, our apologies for the technical problems here on BBC2. Thanks for bearing with us. Some good news now. We can now return to something for the weekend in just 1 second.
Yes, they got one in Japan actually.
There you go.
They got a club where there's just vending machines and no bartenders.
Andrew, to check all the sheep to make.
Later.
This is BBC2. Many apologies. We're having a slight technical problem this evening. We're working on the situation, hoping to get the programme back on air as soon as possible.
Later.
Reading as you talk to us, Bridget, and please stay with us for the moment, that the epicentre of the explosion, at least on some of the news wires, seemed to be between the Prime Minister's office and the Oil and Energy Ministry, which were both badly damaged. And I know you've been watching these pictures with us, Bridget, but the scale of the blast does seem to be very large, doesn't it?
It does, but I mean that.
Stick with us, this is BBC2.
Later.
Do stay with us here on BBC2. As I've said a few times, we're having a little technical stick with us. We are working on the situation and hopefully we'll be able to go back to Cumbria and see more of the action from the farm.
Later.
This is BBC2. Many apologies. Unfortunately, we can't return to lambing live at the moment, but in the meantime, while we try and sort the situation out, we're going to bring you a coast.
Later.
Well, I'm very sorry. We're having a technical problem with our coast programme at the moment. We're hoping to get back to lambing live as soon as possible, but in the meantime, do stick with us here on BBC2.
Later.
Well, I'm sorry for the problems that we're experiencing this evening on BBC2. Once again, do stay with us and we'll hopefully get something back on air for your viewing pleasure as soon as possible.
Later.
We're having quite a night of it here on BBC2. Many apologies for that. We are working on the situation and hopefully we'll be able to go back to lambing live as soon as possible.
Later.
This is BBC2. Do stay with us. Once again, we are working on the situation. We're currently having a technical problem with lambing live. Understandably, it is a live programme. They are having a few difficulties with the weather. So hopefully they'll be back with us soon.
Eventually.
Well, good news now here on BBC2. Thank you for staying with us. I'm getting the information that we can now go back to lambing live.
There we go, stand by.
Barn owl's one of Britain's most popular birds to one of my favourites, a really dashing little falcon. And fortunately, someone has sent in a rather attractive still of this.
Oh,
Jack
that's a
Barnes.
good photo.
Well, I'm sorry we've lost the programme. Autumn Watch has just disappeared. We seem to have lost the link, but we'll go back to it just as soon as we possibly can.
Later.
Once again, our apologies for the loss of Autumn Watch. We'll join the live programme again as soon as we restore the link.
Later.
Well, I'm very sorry. We're having some difficulties with Autumn Watch. We are going to return to that programme just as soon as we possibly can.
Later.
Well, the reason we've lost the programme from Autumn Watch is that they've lost power at the outside broadcast. So while we try and find somewhere to put our 13-amp plug, we'll continue to play you some music.
Later.
Well, I'm sorry, we're still not able to go back to Autumn Watch. We are having some difficulties with that because of the loss of power at the outside broadcast location. So we'll see if we can find something else to bring you. This is BBC2 Scotland. We're apologising once again for the loss of Autumn Watch. As I said, we've lost power at the outside broadcast location, which means no pictures. And for the meantime, we're not quite sure when we're going to get the power back. So in a moment or two, hopefully, we'll bring you something else.
Later.
Well, I have to say things are looking a little bit more hopeful because we've managed to restart the generator out at the outside broadcast, which is good, obviously. So as soon as we get the pictures back, we'll bring them to you.
Eventually.
Well, in the hope that we get Autumn Watch back shortly, for the meantime, we're going to bring you an edition of Coast.
Pink or black, none of them going to the left corner. So obviously comfortable with the situation.
30. Well, I'm really sorry. We seem to have lost our live coverage of the Crucible there. Hopefully back to the programme as soon as we can.
Later.
Well, again, our apologies for the loss of the live feed of the snooker. The World Championship at the Crucible in York will hopefully return to our live coverage here on BBC2 as soon as we can. And there's a look at some of the programmes we can look forward to later this evening.